Okay, so this is the FogScreen main control unit. It is as simple basically as making sure that the FogScreen has water in it, turning on the main power, and then just turning on the fog. So the first thing you want to do is check the water pump to ensure that the flow valve is on and that this pressure control valve is actually open. You'll notice that it's hooked up to a direct water supply line coming out of the ceiling. So essentially all you have to do is fire on the main power, and you'll notice a yellow light will come onto the main control panel. So when you turn the water feed towards the yellow light, it'll start filling up with water, and it's got an auto shut off, so once it actually reaches the fill point, the yellow light will turn off, you'll have a green light, and you'll be ready to go. You can turn on the condensation recollection, and you'll see a green light start to blink on the switcher. So you can leave the water feed switch to the right even after the yellow light has gone off, which will mean that it'll automatically top up the water. Sometimes that won't be desirable if you have the pump hooked up to a bucket instead of a direct water supply, if you want to control the noise that comes out of the pump. But in this case, we leave the water feed off to the right. We can simply activate the switches for the airflow, fog flow, and density. We can give it a minute to warm up so that it actually starts to generate fog. Then once it's ready, you can start to adjust the fog flow and density. The optimal settings for these knobs so that the fog lasts the longest without creating too much moisture is usually at about 10 o'clock for each knob. So the fog itself is a dry fog, and if you keep it running at kind of a medium setting, you won't have any problems with it leaking or dripping for quite some time. But if you have it running at full capacity, you'll notice it may start to drip within 20 to 30 minutes. So this is the SICK laser grid scanner, which is used as a simple XY grid scanner, and it scans for one single point within a grid and works very much like a mouse using this control unit here. So when setting up your projector, make sure that it works on rear projection. If you want to adjust the scanner so that it works accordingly, you need to adjust it so that it measures the width exactly and the height exactly of the screen that you're projecting. And in order to do that, when you go through the control, you want to set the scan angle so that it works in accordance in the upper right, upper left, bottom left, and bottom right corners. It'll have presets for each of those, which you can go through. You might also have to adjust the X and Y offsets so that you can adjust exactly how far it is from the top and from each side of the projection. So when you're finished using the FogScreen, you can change the water feed pump direction to the left. You'll notice it'll start to blink, and what's going to happen is you'll hear the pump activate, and it'll start to chug water out of the output hose, so make sure you have a bucket at the ready. It'll drain about 20 liters of water. If you're using a bucket to get the water in and out, if you don't have a direct line, you'll need to use this interrupter. Essentially, it connects between this line from the pump directly to the unit and acts as an extension. Using the water feed knob will actually activate the pump in either direction.